Please be seated. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wes and Matthew's wedding. We are thrilled to come together to celebrate two people we all love so much.
That was mediocre laughter.
I did hold for laughter, so.
Yeah, okay. While all weddings are a cause for celebration, what makes today particularly special is the ceremony the Pändas have created, rooted in their love for the arts, the community they have built around them, and for each other.
As far as we know, pandas have no concept of marriage. They are bears, and as such, can neither read nor recite vows. However, if they did have a system of legally entwining romantic partners in a lifetime commitment, it would almost certainly be exactly like the festival of music, poetry, and love we are all about to enjoy.
The love Matthew and Wes share has been, since the beginning, a light that has spilled out onto all of us who love them, enriching both our lives and theirs, and making the world a kinder, more magical place. We invite all of you to join us as we express our gratitude for the intersection of our lives with theirs and theirs with each other's.
Sonnet 105, William Shakespeare. Let not my love be called idolatry, nor my beloved as an idol show. Since all alike my songs and praises be, to one, of one, still such, and ever so. Kind is my love today, tomorrow kind, still constant in wondrous excellence. Therefore, my verse to consistency confined, the thing expressing leaves out difference. Fair, kind, and true is all my argument. Fair, kind, and true, varying to other words. And in this change is my invitation spent. 3 themes in one, which wondrous scope affords, fair, kind, and true, have often lived alone, which 3 till now never keep seat in one.
Words by Rainer Maria Rilke. For one human being to love another human being, that is perhaps the most difficult task that has been entrusted to us. The ultimate task, the final test and proof, the work for which all other work is merely preparation. Loving does not at first mean merging, surrendering, and uniting with another person. It is a high inducement for the individual to ripen, to become something in himself, to become world in himself for the sake of another person. It is a great, demanding claim on him, something that chooses him and calls him to a vast distance.
Jordy reads Pathways by Rainer Maria Rilke. Understand, I'll slip quietly away from the noisy crowd when I see the pale stars rising, blooming over the oaks. I'll pursue solitary pathways through the pale twilight meadows with only this one dream, you come too.
Paul Lawrence Dunbar, Invitation to Love. Come when the nights are bright with stars, or come when the moon is mellow. Come when the sun, his golden bars, drops on the hayfield yellow. Come in the twilight soft and gray. Come in the night or come in the day. Come, O love, wherever you may, and you are welcome, welcome. You are sweet, O love, dear love. You are as soft as the nesting dove. Come to my heart and bring it to rest as the bird flies home to its welcome nest. Come when my heart is full of grief, or when my heart is merry. Come with the falling of the leaf, or with the reddening cherry. Come when the year's first blossom blows. Come when the summer gleams and glows. Come when the winter's drifting snows. And you are welcome, welcome.
The next piece is a string quartet that Wes wrote for Matthew. I will now share a few words that Wes wrote about the piece. Matthew and I got to know each other through shared musical experiences. We met in the Houston Grand Opera Chorus, thanks Richard, and we spent a lot of time in rehearsal together. After hours, we exchanged mixtapes. Well, CDs really. What do the kids use nowadays? There were multiple CDs of choral music, orchestral music, pop music. Every song was there because it had a personal story. We told each other these stories, and each song revealed a little bit more about one of us to the other. We were, and still are, music nerds. So what does one music nerd do for the other? I wanted to write a song that had a story we could both share. There's a poem by Rumi that says, "The minute I heard my first love story, I started looking for you, not knowing how blind that was. Lovers don't finally meet somewhere. They're in each other all along." Composing this piece was a bit like discovering it was already written in my head. I don't really remember the writing process. It was a flow state, out-of-body experience kind of thing that happened all in one day. Looking back on what I wrote, I can say that there's a lot of unsettled and yearning, art clearly imitating life, with suspensions, inversions, melodies that cross and circle, building tension that isn't fully resolved until the last chord. It remains one of my best compositions, and not because of what I brought to it, but because I discovered so much of Matthew in it along the way.
I carry your heart with me, E. Cummings. I carry your heart with me. I carry it in my heart. I am never without it. Anywhere I go, you go, my dear, and whatever is done by me is only your doing, my darling. I fear no fate, for you are my fate, my sweet. I want no world, for beautiful, you are my world, my true. And it's you are whatever a moon has always meant, and whatever sun will always sing is you. Here is the deepest secret nobody knows. Here is the root of the root, and the bud of the bud, and the sky of a tree called life, which grows higher than a soul can hope or a mind can hide. And this is the wonder that's keeping the stars apart. I carry your heart. I carry it in my heart.
Litany by Billy Collins. You are the bread and the knife, the crystal goblet and the wine. You are the dew on the morning grass and the burning wheel of the sun. You are the white apron of the baker and the marsh birds suddenly in flight. However, you are not the wind in the orchard, the plums on the counter, or the house of cards, and you are certainly not the pine-scented air. There is just no way that you are the pine-scented air. It is possible that you are the fish under the bridge, maybe even the pigeon on the general's head, but you are not even close to being the field of cornflowers at dusk. And a quick look in the mirror will show that you are neither the boots in the corner nor the boat asleep in its boathouse. It might interest you to know, speaking of the plentiful imagery of the world, that I am the sound of rain on the roof. I also happen to be the shooting star, the evening paper blowing down an alley, and the basket of chestnuts on the kitchen table. I am also the moon in the trees and the blind woman's teacup. But don't worry, I'm not the bread and the knife. You are still the bread and the knife. You will always be the bread and the knife, not to mention the crystal goblet and, somehow, the wine.
I will now share some words that Matthew wrote about the next piece. When Wes and I first met, every interaction and conversation we had seemed to be a constant string of, "No way, me too!" I love roller coasters. I transferred schools after my first year of college and switched my major to music too. Ragtime is the best musical ever written. Oh, without question, I'll take mountains over the beach any day. Renee Fleming singing Korngold's Ich ging zu ihm at the 2007 BBC Proms is absolutely the best clip on the internet. That last one was particularly surprising to both of us. Not necessarily the specific clip, which is amazing, but the fact that we managed to find another person whose favorite classical composer was Erich Wolfgang Korngold. It was an instant understanding and bond between us that revealed, I hear what you hear. Ever since the idea of a wedding was in discussion, two things were certain. The ceremony needed to include Wes's gorgeous string quartet, and it needed to include Korngold's lead, Was du mir bist. These pieces aren't simply beautiful compositions, they are a part of us. I've never considered myself to be terribly eloquent, but I will gladly borrow the words from this song's poetry written by Eleanor van der Straten. The translation reads, "What are you to me? The sight of a beautiful land where fruit-laden trees rise, flowers bloom at the water's edge. What are you to me? The sparkle of stars that breaks through the cloud, the distant ray of light that through the darkness says, 'Traveler, don't lose heart.' And even if my life was one of resignation, where no good fortune came my way, what are you to me? Need you ask? What are you to me? My faith and happiness."
Most Like an Arch, This Marriage, by John Ciardi. Most like an arch, an entrance which upholds and shores the stone crush up the air like lace. Mass made idea and idea held in place. A lock in time inside half heaven unfold. Most like an arch, two weaknesses that lean into a strength. Two fallings become firm. Two joined abeyances become a term, naming the fact that teaches fact to mean. Not quite that, not much less. World as it is, what's strong and separate falters. All I do, not piling stone on stone apart from you, is roofless around nothing, till we kiss. I'm no more than upright and unset. It is by falling in and in we make the all-bearing point for one another's sake. In faultless failing, raised by our own weight.
For a New Beginning by John O'Donohue. In out-of-the-way places of the heart, where your thoughts never think to wander, this beginning has been quietly forming, waiting until you were ready to emerge. For a long time it has watched your desire, feeling the emptiness growing inside you, noticing how you willed yourself on, still unable to leave what you had outgrown. It watched you play with the seduction of safety and the gray promises that sameness whispered, heard the waves of turmoil rise and relent, wondered, would you always live like this? Then the delight when your courage kindled and out you stepped onto new ground, your eyes young again with energy and dream, a path of plenitude opening before you. Though your destination is not yet clear, you can trust the promise of this opening. Unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning that is at one with your life's desire. Awaken your spirit to adventure, hold nothing back, learn to find ease and risk. Soon you will home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you.
don't know how we are possibly lucky enough to be surrounded by this embarrassment of artistic riches. But you all are amazing. Thank you. So we probably made the biggest mistake by writing our own vows and not letting each other read them beforehand, but here goes. What do you mean you're gonna try? I'm trying right here, and I'm... Matthew, I vow to cherish you always as my panda, to bring you bamboo before you get hangry, to scratch your head whenever you're tired or frustrated, and to play with you together with abandon on the jungle gym of life. I promise to communicate, to always talk with you, to listen to you, and to understand you. That last one's the hardest, but I'm really working on it every day. I vow to go hiking and adventuring with you as long as my legs or your legs will carry me. I promise to be the Bob to your Linda, the Sophia to your Dorothy, the Constance to your Salsol, and the Julie Andrews to your Lady Gaga. Or you can be Julie and I'll be Lady Gaga, I don't care. I promise to be the eternal optimist to your grumpy pessimist. I promise to work less and live and love more. I vow to stay curious, to always find the new in us, to appreciate familiarity, but to never be lulled by it. I vow to remember that what we have together is special enough that it warranted the love and support of all of these people. And most of all, I vow to love you and all of our crazy together, to hold that love above everything else, and to cherish every moment that I get to be your husband.
I really fought to go first because Wesley Charles Landry. Wes, my panda. The task of writing vows for you has been a struggle. I've actually been sending myself emails titled Vows since February of 2013. Almost 10 years that I've been trying to put into words my sentiments for what is the greatest gift of my entire life. Most of the messages are just one-line sentences, little anecdotes that I've just wanted to remind myself of. Just a couple of examples. I am fond of you. I love that I can say 20 pounds of brown sugar and you know what I mean. Gays love a picnic. I love that you were willing to dance with me in the living room. Horse meat. I promise that there will always be capers in our refrigerator. But after all this time, I've never managed to find a cohesive way to turn these small sentiments into vows. How can I possibly express what you mean to me as a person, who you've been to me as my partner, and who you are as a human, the best human? So, so many things about us are beyond my comprehension. I can't begin to explain that about a week after I met you, I blurted out, "You have the most beautiful blue eyes," without even realizing I was saying it. I can't explain the time I almost wrecked my car while driving my parents home from a performance of Rigoletto because I saw you walking down the sidewalk and I spastically swerved over to the curb because I needed to introduce you. It naturally scared the crap out of you and my parents. But you very charmingly told them, "It's nice to meet you. Now you know why his car looks like this." Rest in peace, Mr. Schatzi. I can't explain that the first time you met our precious muffin maestro, before we were even a couple, he quite literally marked you as his own. Knowing you has changed my entire perspective on life. There was no way to prepare for meeting you because I never could have imagined that a you existed. Your goodness, your kindness, your affection, your humor, your beauty. For everything you have given me over the past 13 years, I'm constantly at a loss for what I could possibly give you in return. But I promise you, you always have someone's hand to hold. You always have someone on your side. You always have someone to, You always have someone to conquer mountains with. You always have someone to wake up next to. You always have someone that supports your dreams. You always have my assistance in the kitchen. You always have someone to make music with. You always have my heart. You always have my love. You will always have me. You are my best friend. You are the greatest love I have ever known. You are my one and only Panda.
Gotta get these out of my jacket here. Rings have no beginning or end. They represent the never-ending nature of your love for each other. Then again, all closed shapes share this quality. A trapezoid can just as easily symbolize forever, but it's hard to size and it would constantly rub against your other fingers. A circular ring is able to represent eternity while also complementing the rough shape of a human finger. Like the two of you together, it is eternal because of its perfect fit.
Matthew, place this ring on Wes's finger and repeat after me. With this ring, I share all that I am and all that I have with you.
With this ring, I share all that I am and all that I have with you.
Wes, place this ring on Matthew's finger and repeat after me. With this ring, I share all that I am and all that I have with you.
This ring, I share all that I am and all that I have.
And now, happily and at long last, I declare you married. You may kiss your panda.